Hello, my name is Wesley Phillips, and I am passionate about helping families go outside together. Now let's take a second and look at this. This is a roadmap that you will see throughout this presentation. It will help us to know not only where we've been, but more importantly, where we're going. Now, why am I passionate about this? This is a photo of my family from about 6 months ago when we went together on family vacation to Gulf Shores. While it was the first time of us as a family going to the beach together, it was most certainly not our first time going outside and spending time together. This picture that you see on the right is of about 10 years before that, also of my family, but fewer members. Me, my sister, my dog, and my mom behind the camera. We went out to a local state park and spent the day out there, hiking. I always loved those days, and this was symbolic of one of many of those days. I was able to go outside, be wild and run free. And not only that, I was able to really take in what was happening around me, notice all of the little intricate details, and appreciate the beauty of nature. And I could use my imagination to take part in great adventures and see unknown wonders that were just through that grove of trees. As I grew, I kept going outside, and it kept being a great place for me to make relationships. I worked at a summer camp for 4 summers, and that was a huge part of my life. And as I continued to grow and went away to college, it continued to again be a great place for me to build relationships and appreciate the glory of God's nature. Specifically, backpacking was something that helped to gel me and my friend groups into small families. And that is something that I really want everyone to be able to experience. However, that seems to be all too rare these days. According to a study published in the Journal of Marriage and Family, families are spending more time together, but more of that time is alone together time, in which device use is elevated and kids can feel more alone in their own home. Children, and people in general, are spending very little time outdoors. But let's summarize that into a nice, easy statement, that families are spending less quality time together and are spending more time outdoors. But this is a big problem. So let's look at some more of the specific aspects of this. And in order to do this, let's look at our national parks and some statistics of what people are doing today. 23,064,332 park visits occurred in 2020. This is a drop from the previous year, which is understandable because that was also the year of the pandemic. But as of 2021, individual parks are reporting record-breaking attendance. The Great Smoky Mountain National Park reported 14.1 million visits, which was a record-breaking year. And households with kids were actually more likely to participate in these activities outdoors, at 60% versus 48% for other groups. People are going outside more, but are not staying outdoors. There were 1.43 billion visitor hours for all of the national parks in America in 2019. But in 2021, there were 1.36 billion visitor hours. Now, this drop is counter to what we were seeing earlier. More people are getting out, but as we said before, people are not staying outside for as long. Now, there is some positivity to this trend, that more people are going out. And the question then becomes, how can I, an industrial designer, capitalize on this? How can I make something that is viable on the market and helps people to stay outside? Well, there are a few key insights here. One is that people who are introduced to outdoor activities when they are young are more likely to participate again when they get older. This is a great opportunity for brands to get customers young, target families, and get children, and instill brand loyalty and keep them by creating consistently great products. The second is that no one is currently making a cohesively branded system for hiking families. When I say a cohesively branded system, I also mean something that works together in such a way that it enhances the function of the product. The closest thing to this is a line of transit gear made by Osprey Packs, but this is, again, not for hiking and not for families. Another interesting thing to note when looking at brands is that the THULE brand actually does not make any children-specific packs. They only make things for adult males and adult females, as can be noted by the organization options on their website. There is no option to look specifically at children's gear. So, how might we lower barriers to entry for families that want to hike and backpack together and establish these activities as habits and hobbies? This is the main goal and the main thrust of this presentation and of this project. In order to ensure that I accomplished that, I wanted to set up some guidelines. And the first one that you can see here is that children's products are currently being cheaply made, forcing people to make repeat purchases. They also don't adapt with kids as they grow, oftentimes. Again, forcing not exactly repeat purchases, but similar purchases, where the only difference is that it's a few sizes larger, and really hasn't worn out. There is also no product currently for managing toddlers and infants besides child carriers. There is also no systematized products that work together to enhance their function, the general thing that we were talking about earlier. And there is no product to help deal with tired kids on the trails. This is often something that is up to the parents' creativity and patience, oftentimes even leading to very frustrating and trying situations. Now, in order to ground this and help us see what some real-world potential situations would be and give us some real-world expectations, I created some user personas. This first one here is Nathan Williams. He's a married father of 3 with kids between the ages of 8 and 14. He's an expert. He's been going hiking with his family for many years, but his kids' gear is currently being grown out of, and his own gear is wearing out. So, when looking for gear, he has a few goals. He wants quality of construction. He wants a high carrying capacity for himself. He also wants a high specialization of features, as he's been around the block a few times and he knows exactly what he wants. He's also looking for a high quality warranty, as that will give him peace of mind. His X factor is he wants a product that looks unique and helps him to stand out on the trails. He's seen many packs that look quite similar, and he really wants something to make him stand out. For James Barnes, he is a married father of 2, and both of his kids are a little bit younger, below the age of 4. He's a novice. He himself has gone hiking and backpacking only a few times, and he's taken his family only once. He's interested in investing in gear, as last time his whole family had to borrow all of their gear. And in the things that he's buying, he has a few goals. He wants value for money. He also wants good looks. Versatility is important to him, as he doesn't know exactly the sorts of features that he's looking for. He also wants a warranty. He wants to protect his investment, as it's a rather new and can be a shaky one, as he's still exploring this area. He also wants, in his X factor, something that will give him confidence on the trails. Now, I propose to you the Grove series. The Grove series was actually started a while ago, during a different project. We were able to choose what kind of a bag we would be making, what brand we would be making it for, and even the problem. And that's when I began to be interested in hiking and specifically looking at tackling family problems. But I expanded that out greatly and developed the Grove series line with the Oak Adult Pack, the Maple Children's Pack, the Seedling Pack and Play as well. Now, let's take a look back at the roadmap. First, we're going to talk about the Oak, and then we're going to get into the Maple, then the Seedling, and look beyond, into the future, beyond the scope of what I was able to tackle in these weeks of this capstone project. So first, for the Oak. It is the flagship model. It is the adult pack. It is able to carry the maple and store the seedling, both of which ways I will explain later when I talk about the maple and the seedling. It also has high capacity, as there are often many knickknacks and many extra things that you learn you need whenever you go out with your family. Now, in the last project, I was able to come to a point where I made some rough tech packs, but I wanted to take those and develop them out even further. So I started at a 1-to-1 scale, working on paper, cutting out things that would eventually become a tech pack pattern, dimensioning and getting the shape exactly for what each panel would need to be. I quickly discovered that I needed to make some sort of thing to mold it over, so I carved out a foam buck, much like what a mannequin would be for any regular garment. And I began laying pieces of cloth over it and figuring out and roughing out exactly what the shapes I wanted to be. Once I completed that and figured out my shapes, I took pictures of them and then turned them into tech drawings. I went into a program called Affinity Design and drew over them, and I was able to get some really nice line drawings. Now, this image is cut off in the middle because these are all set on one long sheet, and I had to split it in the middle. For the key, the darkest lines that you see on this page are going to be the final profile and the final fold line. The dotted gray lines are going to be cut lines, and the dotted blue lines are going to be fold lines. So this tech pack, at least for the main body up to this point, is one where you could actually take and cut these out of cloth and make it for yourself. Now, how does this help us solve our design guidelines? There are many of them, and how does this product in particular tackle those? This helps us solve the problem that there's no systematized products that work together to enhance their function. This oak serves as the basis for the rest of the system. It is the platform on which the rest of the Grove series is built. Now let's look at Nathan. For his gear goals, this helps us solve his goal of having quality in construction with THULE, having a high carrying capacity, as he has experience and he knows that he will need to carry a lot of different things. And also his warranty, which really helps him. As for his X Factor, it looks very unique with a sort of space egg design profile. This comes from THULE's brand. They're a Swedish brand and have a lot of Scandinavian-inspired designs. So a lot of sweeping curves and very soft shapes. For James, it helps him because he is able to get big versatility and diverse functions for the price, a sleek space egg design, and that will look very good, and a warranty that will help him with his peace of mind. And as for his X Factor, because this serves as the basis for the rest of his system, it lets him feel like he can help. And it really boosts his confidence with his family. So now that we've been able to talk about the oak, let's look at the maple. The maple is a children's model. It attaches to the oak. It is made of high-quality materials and construction methods like the oak. It is multi-staged to allow it to grow with the child and not be cut off after they outgrow it, allowing it to be more of an investment that will last a while, and maintain its functionality into adulthood. As the child is supposed to grow out of this, and eventually, and grow into an adult-sized pack, you can actually keep using it as a day pack, a need that people often find that they have. Now, as for its attachment method to the oak that I talked about earlier, THULE has a VersaClick technology that has been repurposed here to allow for fast attachment of the maple pack. I will propose to you a hypothetical situation. You are hiking with your family and one of your kids who's carrying the maple gets tired and they start complaining. You don't want to stop. You need to get to your campsite soon, but you also need to give them a rest. So you're able to take the pack off of them and clip it into your own pack on the clips that are either on your straps or on the back, and take a load off for them for a while, allowing them to walk freely. And after a time, you're able to quickly and easily give it back to them. That is the goal for this piece of technology. And as for the multiple stage construction, there are hooks on the back of the top half, the small half, which is I'm calling the 20-liter half, and they will come off of the 20-liter straps, and the 20-liter half will be set into the receiver of the 40-liter half. The straps will fold back behind the back of the 40-liter, and those clips will clip into the straps of the 40-liter, also helping to distribute the weight across the two packs and ensure that they are integrated together. Now, to really figure out the form that you saw earlier for the maple, I went into a program called Gravity Sketch. Gravity Sketch allowed me to rough out my shape and model it in 3D very quickly and in a way that was able to help me see whether or not things were colliding and actually make it fit together. I moved into surfacing and added the top part, which is often called the brain of the pack, and the straps. And as I moved into finalizing it, I was able to figure out exactly what I wanted each of the color panels to be as well, and ensured that I had it at the correct scale and proportions, as they have life-size mannequins in that program. Unfortunately, you aren't able to do precise dimensioning, but you can get proportions correct. So I threw it into KeyShot and began to do some renders. Here's the front and side of the fully assembled maple. The side view that you see here is of the 40-liter, and that back view is of just the 20-liter part. Here they are juxtaposed. And here are some colorways. I wanted to mix it up and have some that appeal more towards the kids, specifically that bright yellow one that you see towards the back, and some more subdued ones that appeal more to the adults or parents who may be purchasing this for their child. So how does this help solve our design guidelines? Well, it helps us solve the problems that children's packs are often cheaply made and don't adapt with kids as they grow, forcing for repeat purchases, allowing you to buy once and buy high quality. It also helps us to deal with tired kids on the trails, not leaving everything up to chance and the patience of the parent, but providing a easy solution that is right there. For Nathan, this product is perfect. It is exactly the age range and target size that he needs for his kids. It is made of durable construction and multi-stage design so that he knows his investment will last. It also has a warranty for a kid's product, knowing that if his kids mishandle their pack, as they probably will, he is able to replace it or get it repaired, no questions asked. His X factor for looks, again, is met here, as it has a very unique construction with that multi-stage design, and it also goes with the rest of his gear. Now that we've talked about the maple, let's look at the seedling. The seedling is made for toddlers and infants and their parents. It is lightweight and compact, so it is easily carried. Stored in the oak in a way that I will explain in just a moment. It is designed with safety in mind. It has a tent construction for the purpose that no child will be able to climb and fall out of it. And it can also be suspended or grounded. Now, the idea behind this was that oftentimes little critters can get into our tents or in our things, and especially for our youngest and most sensitive of kids, we want to make sure that that's not happening. A great way to do that is to be in a hammock. And I wanted to make sure that this would be stable. So I made a triangular hammock construction that could be suspended from each of the corners and the straps tensioned. There's also a cushion on the bottom that can be inflated, that is built right into it, as well as extra tent poles that you can put under it to ensure that the bottom is not going to sag. But if parents are uncomfortable with this, you can still inflate it, set it on the ground, and use those D-rings as tent pole, as places to put your tent pegs in and secure it in place. Now, as for its storage method, at first, it's like any other product, any other tent. You take out the tent poles, and you're going to fold it up. In order to fold this up, you're going to fold it from the middle like a cone. Then you're going to fold it in half, and you're going to take it over to a tube that's actually going to be built right into the oak. You're going to first put in the poles, and then there is going to be a string that runs through the tube. You're going to wrap the string around the halfway point as you're going to fold the cone in half, and you're going to be able to pull the string from the other end, and that is going to pull the main body of the seedling all the way through its storage sleeve, and it's going to be able to store it very quickly and securely, allowing you to get it out at a moment's notice at the same time as well. Now, how does this specific problem help our guidelines? Well, you can probably guess by now. No product for managing toddlers and infants besides child carriers. Child carriers are great, and they help us get our kids from point A to point B. But once we're at point B, once we're at the campsite, and we need to have our hands free for complicated tasks like setting up camp or playing with our other kids, this seedling provides a great option and a great opportunity for us to put our kids and keep them securely and be able to set them down, set our minds at ease, and do other things. And now we're going to look into the beyond. I want to make a companion app in the future. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, I wasn't able to develop this aspect out anymore. But the companion app seeks to solve for things that are soft skills, things that are often passed down from generation to generation of families who hike together, but many people didn't grow up doing that, and they're just learning this and just exploring it right now. So I want to give them one place where they can come and learn all the things they need to. One is going to be an integrated mapping service. There's also going to be a place with helpful outdoor facts and tips to know what to do and what not to do, also to help educate our children and keep them interested in nature. Also will be included a stargazing guide, again helping to increase our kids' interest and fascination with nature. I also want to have a story sharing place in this app where other users of the app can inspire each other in how we tell stories to our kids, bedtime stories or campfire stories. These were things that the American culture was built off of in the American West. And as people rode through in wagon trains, people told stories around fires. And these are skills that people oftentimes don't know. Few people may have them. And we want to help develop those out and help more people to be able to have those skills and feel comfortable to do that sort of stuff. We also want to include geocaching. Geocaching will be awesome, and it will allow you to be able to interact with other users of the app, to leave behind notes and images in a virtual world, but locked to a real-world geographical location. So if you're at a place and you see something awesome, you can leave a geocache there, and anyone else who comes along can unlock it and see what that message is. It is a great way to encourage healthy interactions between other campers and other people. As for the existing products that I have already begun to develop, for the Oak Adult Pack, I want to take that into the next steps of advanced prototyping, getting real materials and construction methods, and really take it into the next phases of advanced prototyping before one would be able to put it in production. For both the maple and the seedling, I would like to begin prototyping and tech drawing, like what you see me do towards the end of the process with the oak. Now, we're at the end. Thank you all very much for listening, and I hope that this has helped to inspire you not only to think about new ways of solving problems, specifically problems that families experience on the trails, but to go out and experience the outdoors yourself with your families, with your friends, and to really appreciate nature. Thank you again, and have a great day.